Hey everybody, just taking a few minutes to play around with the piano because I've spent the entire day on the computer. I didn't even get out to the Tarbis. I'm still in my pajama britches. When I got up and moving today after I made the morning video, I sat down, got it compiled, and I didn't even get it out till noon. And it took a little longer, got a little more depth than I anticipated. Couple of corrections I want to make. I had said that the somebody had asked. I had said I thought there were 4 airplanes in the box. You might think there's 4 airplanes in the box because those new kits they're putting out have 4 jets on the cover, and I'd said that it had been that way before. It was the 1/72nd scale Phantoms that came 4 in a box, but the F-11 Tiger only came 1 to the box. So the repop is exactly what the original kit was. But I knew there's somebody made a Blue Angel kit with 4 airplanes. It's just been so long, and the and from what I hear from folks who built it, it's actually a pretty good kit, so that should be a good repop. So I do know somebody actually flew the F-11 Tiger, and like he said, his logbook is full of missions that are 0.7 of an hour, because after 45 minutes he had to come back and land. Had a pretty short life on the carrier because the angle of attack needed to get it on the deck tended to cause the engine to want to flame out, so wound up being land-based. It was only in the inventory for 10 years, and the Blue Angels used it for a lot of that because it's really a cool-looking jet, but it was, the technology of the day. I think the F-8 Crusader replaced it. But I want to make that little correction that no, the Revell F-11 Tiger never came 4 in a kit. I was thinking of the wrong kit. So anyway, I got back to, while I was on the computer, I started doing a little bit of research for the continuation of the Air Race series on the women in air racing. And that just is where the day went. And I got a lot done. I got part of the script written. It's going to have to be more than 1 episode. The episode is essentially going to deal with the 1929 Women's Air Derby, which had 20 contestants, 16 in one category and 4 in the other. And this isn't about the race, it's about the people. So since these are the kind of recognized as the first women air race pilots in the golden era of aviation and air racing, I'm going to sort of just do a very short introduction of each of the 20 people that was in the race. Unfortunately, one of them was killed, and 2 others had been killed in plane crashes within about a year and a half. They were dangerous times. And but I thought it would be a nice way to introduce the series, and then I'll pick a few characters to do some slightly more in-depth backgrounds on it. No way I'm going to be covered all, but I was surprised how many women there actually were in air racing, given that the attitudes of the day. But these ladies were definitely a cut apart, and I won't be covering too much people like Amelia Earhart because there's so much data about her online. I will be talking about Pancho Barnes, and at one point we'll get into talking about Jacqueline Cochran also, but she was actually got on the scene a little bit later. And a lot of people you never heard of. Most of them were Americans. There was a German and an Australian, but and it's not going to be a real long video. I just want to kind of introduce these people and kind of give you a flavor for who some of them were. Some of them kind of got in and got out of air racing fairly quickly, and some of them really had some interesting stories to tell. So we'll get into that. And these books that were sent to me have been very helpful. A lot of stuff online, and I think you're going to find it interesting. One of the things I did realize about the 1929 air race, and we'll talk about this in a little more detail, was that there was actually essentially an engine displacement limit because the attitudes of the day, the guys running the race, I'm assuming they thought it was kind of more of a novelty than anything else, because most of the ladies were flying biplanes or early monoplanes that didn't have a lot of power. And one of them showed up with a very powerful airplane. Like, oh, that's too much airplane. That's more than a lady can handle. Yeah. So anyway, we'll talk about that also. And some very colorful people, some very interesting stories. So today's just been a research day. There's not a whole lot else to talk about without getting into what I've been studying. That'll be in the video. So there you have it. That's how I spent my Labor Day, laboring away, trying to, write the script and compile the information and find some imagery and all that other stuff. And if you are interested in the 1929 Women's Air Derby, there are a lot of videos out there on YouTube, because it was this is when movie cameras were becoming much more commonplace as there's a lot of actual moving footage of it, and so that's interesting, and how this whole thing came into being. But I just want to introduce the characters, and I think you're going to find that some of them, that's just what they are, as characters. And although we all know the irrepressible Pancho Barnes, she was not the only one that was quite the Spitfire. So guys, that's where we're at for right now. I hope you're having a wonderful evening. I hope you had a great Labor Day. Guys, take care of yourselves, and as always, model on.